New at 11 tonight, more than 400 police officers from across the country are in Columbus this week, not to fight crime, but to learn how to talk people down from the brink. Now, 10 TV's Libby Cathy takes us inside the Midwest Crisis Negotiators Conference and shows us why this training couldn't be more timely.
Jeff and Yolanda, as a crisis unfolded in South Columbus today, the training these officers traveled for was put into practice. A potentially deadly situation unfolded this morning on Lockbourne Road in South Columbus. A person standing on a bridge over I-270 who looked like they were going to jump, according to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Deputies talked them down just before 7 a.m., and that person was taken to a hospital. It's an example of crisis intervention training at work, something that doesn't always make headlines, but happens here almost every week.
We average 48 call-outs a year from a hostage negotiation team perspective. That's not the total amount of incidents that our patrol officers and our personnel face every day.
That's why the Columbus Division of Police, along with the FBI, hosts the Midwest Crisis Negotiators Conference each year for the last 30+. This week, more than 400 law enforcement officers from 30 states are in town, learning how to de-escalate and save lives. The training teaches how to respond to people in crisis, whether it's a hostage situation, a suicidal individual, or a barricaded suspect.
We're all trained with active listening skills. We're all trained with empathy. You can pretty much pluck a negotiator, trained negotiator from Columbus, Ohio, and drop them in an instant in Illinois, and they would be able to interact with those hostage negotiators. It's a national training model.
One of the case studies presented came from retired San Jose police officer Joe Campagna and the young man he saved, Alex Magana. When the two met, Magana was sitting on top of a freeway overpass fence overlooking Highway 101 in San Jose. But Campagna, a trained negotiator, talked to him for 2 hours, eventually leading his return to safe ground.
Without Joe and everything that we do now, it'd be a whole different story.
Now, 8 years later, the two traveled together to share their story, to help first responders understand what's at stake and what's possible.
When people are in that crisis at that time, all they need is somebody to listen to. And that's what I'm hoping that these officers take away.
Trained negotiators learn that sometimes the most powerful weapon they carry is their voice.
If you use your voice, it makes a big difference.
And that young man Officer Campagna helped, now planning to become a police officer himself. Reporting in Columbus, Libby Cathy, 10 TV News.